Need a gavel.
Aaron, dude. All right. There we go. Okay. Make sure we didn't have any technical difficulties down here. Garrett Reeves almost messed us up down here. He took over. Just in case you didn't see it, I want everybody to know. That it was Garrett Reeves. So, I know you're thinking, if you were here about a month ago when I preached on December 29th, you're thinking, wow, Cain did such a great job, but they're asking you to be part of the regular thing up here. That's not it at all. Jerry had a grandbaby this weekend. His daughter Chloe and her husband, so they're in Nashville this weekend, and he got the message on Thursday. And I'm up here and not somebody else because I just have to be standing there when they got the message about her water pressure. So, and I volunteered, but it didn't say it was meant to be where I was either in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's weird stuff. But you're glad you're here this morning. Like I said, Jerry's not here and I'm Cain. I'm the children's minister here at Lake Street. And we gathered here today because we come to worship and praise our Father together and grow in community and encourage one another and lift each other up and admonish each other so that when we go out these doors in about 5 minutes when I'm done, we can go out and be Jesus to this world. For the purpose we're here so we can grow and praise our Father and grow in community with one another so we can go out and show Jesus to others in this world. And so we're glad you're here. I don't know if you saw in the bulletin the last month or so, but I'm leading a trip to Arusha, Tanzania, and there's about 9 of us going from here, from Leaf Street community in Sulphur Springs, and a few from Waynesboro, and we're going to be staying at we're working at, or serving at, a baby and child rescue home in Arusha, Tanzania. I actually lived there for a semester last year at this time. I was sent through the Aggies for Christ, down in College Station to the A&M Church of Christ there. I was teaching there for a semester, and while I was there, I got the opportunity to go on a safari. And a safari is actually a Swahili word. Swahili is a popular language in Eastern Africa, so where Tanzania is at. It's not the only language. There's dozens and dozens of native and tribal languages, but it's a popular one. And the word safari actually means a journey or a voyage or a trip. So on the weekends when I wasn't teaching, I got the opportunity to go on a couple of voyages. And this one it's a picture. I did not take this picture. Google got that. And this is a picture of the Ngorongoro crater. It's about 4-hour drive for where we will be staying in Arusha, Tanzania. And about 2 hours for us, but the Acton Road takes about 4 hours. And what it is, it's a giant natural crater. It's not like an asteroid crater. It's a volcanic-made crater, back in Noah's time probably. And that was kind of a joke. But so it's a crater, and on your way to the crater from Arusha, so Arusha is a mountain area too, so it's pretty lush and green. And from point A to point B, it's kind of that typical drive you would expect in your mindset. You might think of Africa, the dry prairie lands with the people walking their goats and the cows and the natives and they're living in their huts. But as you get closer to the crater, you enter the gates and it's a conservation area, so you have to enter the gates and they want to make sure you're not a poacher or some kind of unwanted presence in the place so that you're not a threat to the animals or anything. But the first thing to do is you drive up the outside ridge of the crater, and it starts to turn into the more tropical rainforest type climate that you might expect. And the first thing they do, they take you to an observation deck. for you to look out over the entire crater. It's about maybe the size of the stage, maybe a little bigger. And I went to Tanzania by myself. So anytime I went on a trip or some kind of safari, I would find a volunteer that was there at the orphanage with me. So I went with the lady from England, and we went to the crater, our driver, and so we're standing on an observation deck, and I'm looking out, and it looks like, the best way I can describe it, it's right at the beginning of the rainy season, so everything's starting to get nice and green, and it's beautiful, and it's about 10 to 12 miles across, so it's this huge crater, and it's lush and green, and I'm looking out over it, and we're there for about 10 minutes, and the lady from England's on my left side, and this huge, I think, Japanese troopers are taking pictures on my right side, and you're standing there for about 10 minutes just looking at it, and eventually I find myself kind of just wiping a little bit, because I'm just kind of stood back in awe of just the beauty of this place, because it's like God made this playground for these animals where they're safe in this place where they can just thrive. I mean, we're there to intervene and to look, but it's their own prey predator, this lifestyle zoo that God made his own little zoo in this thing. It's just incredible. It's green. I'm not very good at describing it, but I mean, it took me back, and I was just in awe. And the lady there, she's like, "Do you want me to take a picture?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine. Maybe later." I was attempting to do a British accent, but anyway, so now I just kind of stood back, and later on we went back to our lodge, and I was kind of thinking that day, like, when's the last time I really just was kind of caught off guard, and I stood back at something so beautiful, or I was so in awe of what I saw. And there's a lot of things in life, whether it be God's creation, or we're lucky in this church to have a couple of births, the Lewis family, the Singleton families, Katie and Preston, that the birth of the new baby is something emotional and beautiful, and kind of stood back and just had the beauty of the situation. And there's other times and things in life that we are just taken back by. And I was thinking about that and the different things that we have that kind of just like wow us, that whoa factor in life. And whether it be something emotional like God's creation or the birth of a new baby, or some great joy, a happy thing that happens to our family. Thinking about in the sense of 2020, where we're at. And I don't know if you remember, about 11 years ago, there was a movie that came out called Avatar. And it was a big deal. And it was back in 2009. I'm not going to tell you how old I was then, not to embarrass y'all how young I was. But it was a big deal. And it caught people by surprise, and this great imagination, the 3D epic technology that had going on, and this weird world of floating mountains and these big technology, and it made billions, with a B, billions of dollars in revenue. And thinking about, and here recently, they're actually in the process of making the second one. And there's not that quite a bit of excitement as the people have found that there was for the first one. If you think about it, where we were in 2009, where we are in 2020, we kind of had some of the same similar things since then. You had the big Marvel, if you're a big Marvel fan, all those Iron Man and Thor and the Avengers movies came out, and those are cool. And then the Star Wars trilogy, they broke more box office records. And it's just kind of the thing we expect now. We're not just blown back like we were 11 years ago when I was in the 5th grade and this movie came out. And we're just kind of used to it. It's what we expect. And so that's kind of what I want to focus on as we go on, and as Christians and people who are in the God we follow, that we don't get in this attitude, that we are alert, that we are cautious, and that we are aware that we aren't living lives in a feeling that we just expect, or an attitude just in the God that we serve and the Savior that we follow. And there's a lot of things that we do to make sure that our minds are focused on this. And so what I'm for you today that we're kind of focusing on is that we don't look for ways to make ourselves just wowed back. That the story of the cross, the power of the cross is what we are in awe of. In 1 Corinthians 2:1-5, and so it was with me, brothers and sisters, when I came to you, I did not come with eloquence or human wisdom. I proclaimed to you the testimony about God. For I resolved to know nothing while I was with you except Jesus Christ and Him crucified. I came to you in weakness with great fear and trembling. My message and my preaching were not with wise or persuasive words, but with a demonstration of the Spirit's power, so that your faith might not rest on human wisdom, but on God's power. What Paul is telling the church here in Corinth is that don't be compelled to follow me or to follow the truth by what I say, about my presentation, or about what I can come up with to wow you, or what my preaching skills might be. Be compelled to follow the cross or follow into Jesus because of what he has done for you, and this power, this Spirit can work through you. Not because of me or what I say, but what can be done through that. And be compelled by the truth and what the story of this Jesus of Nazareth has done. And we do things in our Christian walk and our traditions that help us. Like a couple of Sundays ago, Sunday night, Jerry did a lesson on vessels and how we do a lot of things that help us get our mind